Hello again, YouTube community. This is Prophet Howard. Bringing you another broadcast, bringing you more teachings, more revelations in these last days as we tackle all the deceptions that we have in all the different religious groups in the world. Today I want to continue my false teachings in the Christian faith series by discussing a topic that I would like to entitle, "Is the scripture infallible?" No, it's not. But tune in and I'll tell you why. Scripture is not infallible. It's impossible for the scripture to be infallible. I'll go into some details and some examples to show you why. The scripture, the words of the Most High, are infallible. Anything in this Bible, in these Bibles, that the Most High said, inspired, or carried out a task and fulfilled a prophecy is infallible. But I want to tell you something. There's a lot of people out there talking about this King James only stuff. But let me tell you something. First of all, it's racist for you to even say such a thing because, number one, and I'm going to get back into it, during the days where the Bible was translated by King James's translators, 47 of them were from England. 46 of them were ministers in the Church of England. One of them was not. Slavery was going on strong and was condoned during those days. There were books left out. There were books that should have been left out that are in there, which makes the scripture, the entire Bible, the consistency of the Bible, fallible. Now, again, I want to tell you that the Bible, the King James Version, NIV, New American Standard, is the most accurate book in the world. It contains the most details about the history of civilization. It contains details about the Most High. No other book has fulfilled itself and explained the things that we see on a regular basis as the scripture has. But to say that it is 100% infallible is false. And now I just want to get into some scriptures to show you just exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of you don't like to watch series, so I'm going to try to keep this within 15 minutes. I want to start out by going to 2 Timothy chapter 2. You're going to see me refer to a lot of Paul's writings due to the fact that, to be honest with you, I believe Paul's intentions were well. He was well intended. But when you study the scripture, and you study the law and the commandments, you study what the Messiah himself taught, some of Paul's writings come up short of that. And I want to show you. We're going to start out in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. We're going to go for the 15 minutes, and then that's going to be it. It's going to be up to you to do the research, because I don't believe that I should make a part 2 and the majority of you will not even watch it. You know, on YouTube, when you make multiple parts of a series, a lot of people choose not to watch it. And some people, you know, you got arrogant guys who think they know everything, that may not like the way my videos look, may not like the way my voice sounds, may not like the way I have my hair, but that's fine. Guess what? If that's how you feel, then the things that I say are not for you then. As I told people on the computer, as I had some debates with some people over the computer over some things pertaining to the Bible, as I told them, I tell you, I'm in the business of presentation. I present. It's up to you to study and do your research. I'm not going to waste time trying to convince people anymore. The Most High knows who belongs to him right now. The Most High knows who he's going to have mercy on. The Most High knows. So, me spending time with people that aren't trying to learn and maybe judging me by outward appearance, there's some people that will never listen to a man that looks like me, that's quote unquote black. There's people out there like that. And there's black people out there like that. But, like I said, I'm in the business of presenting. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15 says this: Study to show thyself approved unto Yah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. You have to rightly divide the word, because everything in here is not of the Most High. Everything in here is not properly translated. So you have to know how to rightly divide it. In the next chapter, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16, it says, all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. Well, everything in here is not scripture. There's some things in here that's just letters. It's just letters that was written to certain people. I'm going to get into some examples. Just keep paying attention. Moving right along to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, which is a great example of why I believe and know that this scripture is not infallible. Infallible means it's without error. Now, how can something be without error that passed through thousands of hands, thousands of years, thousands of generations, was raided, was burned? All different types of things took place with these oral traditions, which were written on animal skins originally. But now we have them on paper. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6. Paul said, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. That right there, my friends, I don't have to say anything else. That makes the scripture, the entire scripture, fallible due to this being in there. Now, if you scroll down to verse 12, it says, but to the rest speak I. He said it again. Not Yah, the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. See, that's his opinion. That's his opinion. See, you got to be careful with opinions, which brings me to my first point that I want to make. Apostles are first disciples. No disciple has the authority to create laws and commandments. Only the Most High. Now remember what the scripture says about the false Messiah, that he shall think to change laws, times, and seasons. See, because anybody that follows the true Messiah knows that they don't have the authority to do so. If you look at John, chapter 5, verse 31, Yehoshua said, if I bear witness of myself. See, that's what Paul did. My witness is not true. Down the verse before that, verse 30, I can of mine own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just. Because, he's telling you why his judgment is just. I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father who sent me. A lot of preachers make this mistake. Man cannot make something a sin that the Most High has not already made a sin. Like Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that the Most High wanted to be listed as sin is listed as sin. Well, not everything, which is another reason why the Bible is not infallible. Because there's things that I guarantee you there are laws that are not in this book. I guarantee you there are sayings that are not in this book. You have the book of Enoch, which is not in this book. You have the Apocalypse of Peter, which is not in this book. You have 500 plus books associated with the scripture, which any one of them can contain words from the Most High, but only 66 are contained in what we call scripture, and those 66 were placed in there by vote. Now, another thing the Most High said through Yehoshua, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word, he said, he that heareth my word, and believeth on him who sent me, have everlasting life. and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Now, remember, he said that his words were not even his words, they're the Most High's words. So he basically said that you hear his word, which is the Most High's word, and you believe on the Most High, Ahaya, which means I am that I am, or Yah, which is a translation of the Lord. He said, you will pass from death unto life. From death unto life. Now this Apostle Paul, again, do not think that I'm miscrediting Paul. I still preach from Paul's writings, I just rightly divide them. Now, I want to go to Romans chapter 2, for example. And then, after that, I want to read something that he said in Galatians chapter 3. Now, in Romans chapter 2, verse 13, the Apostle Paul said, for not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. But then if you go over in Galatians chapter 3, verse 10, again, do not think that I'm saying that the scripture is not credible, that the scripture cannot be relied upon. It can be relied upon, you just have to rightly divide it. And you have to get rid of all these words from these preachers who are after your money and who think they're God, changing laws and seasons. Yeah, I have to keep the Sabbath. You know what? The Sabbath is supposed to be kept. Galatians chapter 3, verse 10, it says, for as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, curses everyone that continueth not in all the things which are written in the book of the law to do them. Now, the Messiah told us to beware lest any man deceive. The only truth is the way. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. But even the diadact has been tampered with. They added the Eucharist to it, making it like Gnosticism, making it like Catholicism. Because, in all actuality, the Roman Catholics have a library of archives in which they could change any book that they choose. So, what we need to do, we need to be on our knees praying, we need to be rightly dividing the scripture, we need to be knowing the history. Knowing the history. Because there's a lot of people out there that will tell you that I'm a false prophet because I'm telling you that the scripture is not infallible. For a mere man to say I, and then I just showed you how the attitude of the Messiah, that alone makes the scripture fallible. You cannot add your opinions to what the Most High already laid out for us. You just can't. It is what it is. You have the law, you have the prophets, you have the commandments, you have the greatest 2 commandments, you have the 10 commandments. It's already there. It's already for us. If you keep the commandments, you're walking in love. So all this stuff about if I don't have love, I have nothing. If you keep the commandments, you'll learn how to love. So, yes, the scripture is inspired by the Most High, but those votes were made, some of those priests dabbled in witchcraft as well. They were not believers in one God. In fact, there were books that were torn out. Now real quickly, I'm going to read you the reasons why the scripture itself is not infallible. Number 1, mere men have handled these scriptures which are actually oral traditions. Number 2, the King James was translated by 47 Englishmen, 46 of which were ministers in the Church of England. Number 3, the books included were decided upon by a vote. Number 4, the Apostle Paul's writings. I gave you a demonstration. Number 5, the impossibility of Yah, all of Yah's laws and sayings being contained in this book. And another reason, number 6, the books that were found and included in the scripture, some of which had rips and tears in them.